All right, it looks like we are live. And good morning, everyone. My name is Charisma, and I am work with Wonderful. And today I'm here in Los Angeles. But guess what? We're about to go on a amazing virtual tour. So I'm looking forward to everyone joining me as we take a little trip to Iceland. But before we kick this off, I just want to say hello to everyone that is already chiming in. If you can actually tell me where you're chiming in from, because so far we have over 128 of you that have already logged in. Hello, Diane. And I don't know where you're from, but just back from Nika says that she's logging in from Switzerland. So if you want to go ahead and chime in the chat on the right hand side of your screen and just let us know where you're chiming in from. Hello, Susan from New York City. Hello, Diane from Toronto. We have, oh gosh, everyone's coming. Okay, they're all coming in. They're all coming in. Vegas from, oh my, it moves so fast. Sorry, Child Free Vacations from Texas. Baby Boomer, also from Los Angeles. Oh my gosh, Nina from Ottawa. We got people literally from all over the world chiming in. I don't know what time it is where you are, but it is literally exactly 9:01 a.m. here in Los Angeles. Lisa from Brooklyn, hello. So we're about to literally, um, growing up, I love to say this because this is actually a virtual scenario of what I used to do when I was a little girl. So there used to be this book called Reading Rainbow. And the book Reading Rainbow, literally, I'm sorry, a TV show. And the kids would jump on the book, and then all of a sudden they'd end up in Paris. So we're literally, if you want to just imagine that you're jumping into your screen, because we're about to go to Iceland. Here we go.
Hi, hello.
Welcome, welcome. Wait, first off, you have to let me know what time is it there?
It is 4:02 p.m.
4:02. So it's afternoon there for you guys. It's
Yeah.
morning here for me. So we have everyone. We have Arena. Did I say that correctly? Because I'm trying to do
Irena?
the
Yes.
Irena, and she's with Hostelling International. And we have Jules. She's a travel and lifestyle influencer and a kick-ass podcaster. So these ladies are about to take you on a virtual tour to Iceland, starting with what's that behind you, ladies? Go ahead and tell us, give us a little intro and let us know what those beautiful colors are behind you.
Yeah, it's exceptionally sunny today in Reykjavik. My name is Irena. I'm from Barcelona, and I'm doing a volunteering project about sustainable traveling with Hostelling International. And I'm so excited to do this adventure with you all.
Yeah, and I'm Jules, and this is the Rainbow Street here in Reykjavik, and it actually leads to the iconic Hallgrímskirkja church at the very end. If you can see that, kind of, it almost is like a rocket that's about to go up. And so we just wanted to give you an awesome view of downtown because we're having amazing weather, first of all.
True.
Iceland is not always like this.
Yeah.
Just so you want to like manage expectations. But this Rainbow Street is normally done during Pride, but because it is so colorful, and also in the houses in Reykjavik and around the country are usually quite colorful, the city decided to make it permanent. So whenever you come here, this is like the most Instagrammable street, I feel like, in the downtown area, just the FYI. It's so beautiful. It's so much fun. It just brightens your day no matter the weather.
Awesome. So give us a little intro. Like, we're about to have a whole lot of fun here. So we're about to choose our adventure when from here. Tell us about the day. What can everyone look forward to in the time that we're about to spend together?
We will go now to a Loft Hostel, and there we will have different options to discover about Iceland, about culture, traveling in Iceland, sustainable tourism, food, music. So a little bit of everything.
Yeah, exactly. And we also have a little presentation coming up where we'll show you around Iceland the different regions that make this place so unique and beautiful, because most people are aware of the South Coast, but so many places in Iceland are not visited by the majority of tourists, and I feel like a lot of people are missing out, and especially the volcanic eruption, which is happening now. So you're going to see a little bit about that too.
A little bit of everything.
Awesome. So, ladies, as you're making your way back in, I am going to share with them a little bit about Wonderful. I'm going to share, and then I'm going to bring in a special guest that's going to share, where we're going to share a little bit about Hostelling International. And when you guys get on the inside, then I'll go ahead and bring up that little small presentation. You can take them a little virtual tour around the other places in Iceland, and then we're going to kick off the show from there. So I'll see you on the inside.
Great.
See you soon.
Hello, Erin.
Hey, Charisma, how are you?
I'm doing good. So everyone, as they're making their way on to our next destination, I wanted to share with everyone that is here exactly what's going on today. So we're going to be having some fun, really fun experiences where everyone's going to be able to choose their own experience as we go through, having a lot of things that are happening. But we're also, this is like the cream of the crop, is the chance for Wanderful and Hostelling International to join forces and be able to offer everyone I'm going to call this a once in a lifetime opportunity. So I was just sharing with Erin behind the scenes that I actually had the wonderful chance of visiting and staying at Hostelling International before I even ever heard of Wanderful. So it was just the ideal of going to somewhere, doing the staycation within my local city so that I can have an experience to meet other people. So Wonderful, our amazing worldwide community of women, of bringing women together so that we can travel together, have fun together, and creating this network. I call it my sisterhood, and I'm traveling solo, but I'm never traveling alone. And to be able to chime that in with Hostelling International, which Erin's going to give you a little feedback on the actual company, what it is, and then we're going to give you guys a little discount code that's going to actually give you the opportunity to be able to put both of these memberships together and have a win-win. So Erin, if you want to share with us a little bit about Hostelling International.
Absolutely. Thanks, Charisma. I'm so excited to be here today. I'm really excited to see what Jules and Irina have lined up for us as well. So a little bit about Hostelling International. We are a worldwide network of not-for-profit youth hostel associations. We are passionate advocates of sustainable travel, and we're dedicated to intercultural learning and connecting young people with local communities in a peaceful and respectful way. Through our high standards, our guests will find safe, clean, quality accommodation and friendly hospitality in all of our hostels, with a usual average of 33 million overnights per year, around about 3,000 hostels, and a global community of over 14 million travelers. I think it's safe to say that we have great expertise at hand. When it comes to the high membership, you're not only getting some great savings, but you're also joining a global community of people passionate about travel. The profits from our high membership sales go towards funding our international charity, and support our global programs, Sleep for Peace, the High Sustainability Fund, and High Connect, which really aim to engage people and highlight important global goals such as sustainability, peace, tolerance, and understanding. I suppose getting back to the savings of the membership, obviously you'll get a 10% discount in high hostels across the world, but we've also partnered with some top travel brands such as World Nomads, Hertz, Get Your Guide. There's so many more, but all of this ensures that you get the biggest bang for your buck, whether you're staycationing or lucky enough to be traveling abroad. Last but not least, the membership is digital, so it can be added to your phone's wallet, so easy to use and hard to forget. And that's pretty much it from my side. What more could you want?
Yeah, that's freaking awesome. So as many of you know, Wanderful, and for those of you don't know, so I'm going to give you a little breakdown. Wanderful is a global lifestyle brand and a community that helps women all over the world by connecting them to their biggest asset, each other. That means us. So that we activate live online and also offline. And we're women travelers that create a support and resources, and we build sisterhood together. We're encouraging the growth and success of women building businesses and travel, especially digital content creators. And we advocate for the travel industry to be more equitable and inclusive and thoughtful. So when you take the Wanderful membership and you combine it with the Hostelling International membership and what she just shared with you, I can bet, and this is like a win-win situation. So I actually want to go sign up myself just so I can get an opportunity to explore both of them together. But what you guys don't know is that there's a 20% discount that's happening today. So I'm going to drop that inside of the chat. It's Iceland, Iceland. So that will be live right now. And I know many of you don't want to just log off here to actually head over to use that. And you're going to use that at sheswanderful.com/join. It is in the chat. It is live. It's going to be up there live for 72 hours. So don't feel like you have to just log off right now, because we're about to head over back into the office, back into our next area here, where the ladies are going to take us on a trip further into Iceland, and then we're going to be able to pick some of our experiences. So Erin, thank you so much for sharing that, and I'll see you back on shortly.
See you soon.
All right. Welcome back. Welcome back. So
Yeah, we are in the hotel already.
Awesome. So before we hop into there, I am going to bring up the actual slides so that you can actually walk us through the other experiences or other places that people can visit when they're coming there. So give me 1 second so I can share my.
Yeah, we can go outside. Let's go to the sun.
All right. Can you see the slides?
Not yet.
All right. If anyone can chime in the chat, let me know that you guys can see the slides.
Yes, it's pulling up now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So we're going to do this you can talk, and when you want me to go to the next slide, just say next, and then I'll head over to the next slide for you.
Yeah, I think it's fair that the volcano is on the first slide, since it has been our main exceptional attraction during the last month.
Everybody is excited about this,
Yes.
Icelanders included. So
Yeah.
it's people, in fact, it's becoming a trend here of not if you've been to the volcano, but how many times have you been to the volcano, because it's changing so often.
Constantly, yeah.
Yeah. But we can move on to the next one, because we'll definitely be talking about that.
Okay. Do you see on the screen now? We have, it looks, the water that is shooting up. There's a total of 3 photos.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. Okay. I am going to figure this out. Let's see.
But what is coming up next is the Golden Circle, and that is just a really popular part of Iceland in terms of most people, when they're researching or thinking about Iceland, they're going to hear about the Golden Circle. And it's iconic, and it's one of those places that most people go to for a reason, and that's because it's a lot of Icelandic history is there, as well as beautiful nature, and it's really accessible and easy to get to from Reykjavik. It doesn't take that long. And so that's kind of what you'll be seeing next as we.
And it's very famous, but it's actually breathtaking. So it's also like really amazing and crazy to see.
And a show that many of you have probably watched. One of the areas, Thingvellir, will show you, was filmed in some parts of it. And so there's a lot of also pop culture associated with different parts of Iceland, which is always pretty exciting too. So you can visit the places of your favorite characters, or maybe the characters you hated, whenever one comes up.
Okay, so let's see. I'm going to share one more time, and let's see if this is working.
Okay.
Yes.
Yep.
Did it change?
Not yet.
Nope.
This
we
is
see the volcano, which is pretty cool.
Yeah.
This is the tricky one. So I'm okay.
There
we go. Technology works.
So, we went one extra. We went one farther, but okay. In terms of what you're seeing, that big shot, that gush of water, that is geysir. And geysir is basically a hot spring that shoots, it's a geyser, shoots up in the air. But what most people don't know is that geysir, the name geyser actually is derived from geysir in Iceland. So all geysers in the world get their name from the one here. But I have to do a caveat because we say this is geysir, but in reality it's strokkur, which is a smaller one. Geysir is dormant. It's much, much larger. And there's reasons why this one doesn't go off, but they used to put soap into it for tourists to make it explode. Just as like a random tidbit, but they don't do that anymore. You know, it's not good for the environment, or, you know, just in general to pour soap into random things in nature. But the other one at the top left is Gullfoss, which means golden waterfall. And often there's a rainbow there. It's just a really beautiful two-tiered waterfall. And then on the bottom left is Thingvellir. And that's what I was talking about in terms of Game of Thrones. But also historically for Iceland, this place is amazing because that's where Icelandic Parliament, which is the oldest parliament in the world, used to meet in the 9th century and onward, until they modernized and decided to have a building in the downtown area. So like I mentioned, lots of beauty regarding nature, but also historically, it's amazing. And that's Thingvellir is also where a lot of scenes for Game of Thrones, I think when Arya and the Hound, they had their famous battle, that's in Thingvellir. Next one.
This is the South Coast, pretty famous and popular, but also like pretty amazing, and you can see a lot of variety. Waterfalls everywhere. And the Black Sand Beach, which also is very spectacular. And the Diamond Beach.
Yeah, the Diamond Beach and Glacier Lagoon, they're in the same place, just across the street from each other, conveniently.
Oh, so beautiful.
And the columns that you see, sorry, I just wanted to mention that the basalt columns, those are naturally forming. So in Iceland, the way that the lava it cools in certain, like there's a certain scientific word for it. I don't know it, to be honest. I'm not a geologist, but I do know that it happens that, in layman's terms, it's basically the way that the lava cools in a certain way that it makes this geometrical shape that is so beautiful. And
so
it's
special.
It's a natural phenomenon that many people think that like people have carved into the stone, whereas in reality, this is just how it comes out. And basalt rock, which is what you're seeing for those basalt columns, makes up about 90% of the rock in Iceland.
Oh, that's beautiful.
This Weisman Island, it's like maybe this is not that popular spot.
Yeah, it should be though.
It should be because it's amazing. You have this like red sand mountain that contrasts with the glacier that you can see from the island. And also you can hike a mountain when you can see the whole island. And it's one of my favorite places, I have to say.
Yeah, absolutely. And what's so fascinating and like a bit scary is that Elfek, which is the mountain that she's talking about, that is a volcano that erupted in the 1970s. And everybody on Vestmannaeyjar, so the Westman Islands, had to be evacuated. And so there are people living today who, they were young kids, and like the ground was just opening up and lava was coming out in their backyards, and homes were destroyed. And there's an amazing museum there in which they show you a home that had been excavated, and they kept the majority of it, you know, with the pumice stone and everything else, but it had been buried many, many meters below in pumice. It's crazy. This place is just literally like a living museum in some ways, because you can go around and see that there are places where like they'll be like, in this spot, like 16 meters below is actually the association of this blah blah, but it's buried under all this pumice stone and lava. So it's just historically, again, and to get to the Westman Islands, you have to take a ferry, and it's just gorgeous. It's
amazing, and in just 30 minutes, so it's like totally, if the weather is good. If not, you can get quite seasick.
Yeah, exactly. So but definitely mark this one down. It is so worth it.
Yeah.
And now we're getting towards the east. And so we're literally taking you from we went from Golden Circle to the south. And so the Golden Circle is in the south, but we went more south. And now we're going up to the east of the country. And as you go east, there's so much variety there as well, including reindeer. So I was just in the east a few weeks ago, and reindeer were roaming free, grazing right after you get past Jökulsárlón, which is the glacier lagoon. And it's just, we stopped the car. It was one of those, like, you, of course, stop safely. But it was just like, oh my God, I saw a reindeer. Like, it's so amazing to see that these amazing animals. And then you also have Stokksnes, which is right next to the reindeer on the bottom to what is our left. Hopefully that's the same for you as well. And this area is really beautiful. And then that rainbow street. So you might see a theme of rainbow streets in Iceland, right? It's this kind of thing.
Yeah. We need colors.
Yeah, exactly. We like a lot of color. That's in Seyðisfjörður. So this town is a very artsy town. There's a lot of expats that actually live there. And it's a very isolated town in the east. So you would assume that like many people wouldn't go there, but there is also a ferry and cargo that comes into this port. So there's a lot of access to, people who are foreigners or foreign nationals. But of course, there's a mix of foreign nationals with the individuals who are from this area. And then next to it, that waterfall is Hinkifoss. And it is really beautiful. It's a nice hike. It's a good little, exercise for your butt because it's pretty easy to get there. But it's amazing. And then lastly, but certainly not least, is Sturlagil Canyon. And this canyon, that green water, you don't need an actual filter or anything else. It looks like that. Do not swim in it. It is not healthy, unfortunately. There's a lot of sediments and things coming from runoff from glaciers or wherever else. But it has a basalt column canyon, which is just in person is so gorgeous.
These are breathtaking. So I have to let you know that I'm low key in the back looking on Google Flights.
Yes. Come on over. It's time. It's time to really get to see Iceland and enjoy. So now we're moving north. So we went east and we're just going to move. And to be fair, this is literally just the tip of the iceberg. And yes, pun intended, regarding Iceland, because there's so much in these areas, but we just want to give you a taste of what is here. So in the north, that middle picture is from the church in Reykjavik. So if you've watched the Eurovision Song Contest movie, the Story of Fire saga with Will Ferrell, and I think it's Rachel McAdams. Hopefully I said her name right. That was filmed, the majority. So where they lived was in Reykjavik. And then even recently, like the song Reykjavik was up for an Oscar. Yeah. Unfortunately, it didn't win, but still, it's a really fun town to go to. And then on the top left, you have Goðafoss, which has some history regarding Icelanders turning from paganism to Christianity. So it's like the waterfall of the gods. And that's where the pagan books were thrown into the waterfall when Icelanders were saying, okay, we're going to be Christians now, starting in year 1000. And then below that, the other waterfall, which does not give the full picture of it, but this is Dettifoss. And this is by volume the largest waterfall in Europe. And then as we go up to the right, the top right, there's Hverir, which is a geothermal area in Mývatn, which is so beautiful. And then my favorite place in Iceland, hands down right now, is on the bottom there, and that's Ásbyrgi. And it's often called the capital city of the elves, because it is so magical. And this is Botnstjörn, which is a lake there that's really, really still, but there's lots of trees and rock formations in this area of the north that you would not expect at all. And so it feels like a magical fairyland. It's amazing.
Yeah, we really wanted to add also these slides of animals that you can see in Iceland. You can see these puffins. They are so cute, and you can see them. I don't know if you can see them already now. They've
landed in the east already, and they should be coming, if they're not already, in Vestmannaeyjar and then to the West Fjords. Yeah. And they come to the Reykjavik area too.
Yeah, until September, more or less.
August.
August, yeah.
Or mid-August, just as FYI. Because a lot of people get disappointed. They come and they're like, oh no, I missed the puffins. And they're so cute in person.
Yes.
Yeah, they're very docile.
It's also very spectacular to see the whales, whether in Reykjavik or Húsavík, or so amazing. Horses. I'm a horse lover, so I'm just in love with Icelandic horses. But fox, have you seen fox?
Yeah,
Haven't.
Arctic fox, and they are not normally in the south area, even though one time we did see one in Thingvellir, which is crazy. But normally you'll see them in places like in the east or in the west fjords. And of course, sheep. So lambing season is starting right now in Iceland. So lots of little baby sheep, lots of little lambs are being born as we speak. Okay, and then we're into the highlands. And again, the highlands are so vast. A large portion of the country is the highlands, and it's uninhabitable. So people do not live there. And it's not accessible in the wintertime unless you're with like a guide or something like that who can take you and knows their way for sure. In the summertime, people love to go hiking there. And on the top left is Landmannalaugar, which has this rye-like colors to the mountains. So in person, it's really vibrant yellows and oranges and reds, and it blows your mind. It feels like you're just staring at a painting, even though it's literally right in front of you. And you can hike that. And Reykjavík Trail, so the famous street in downtown Reykjavik is Reykjavík, but Reykjavík is also a trail in Landmannalaugar area that takes you that isn't part of the highlands. So FYI. And then next to that is Mælifell, which is a mountain that, as you can see, is just gorgeous and picturesque. And on the bottom is just some aerial footage of glacial rivers. We have a plan of glacial rivers, just to kind of give you the idea of the fact that it's very vast there, but also a lot of it's barren. There's not a lot that grows in the highlands, and it's just, like I mentioned, it's uninhabitable. So most people are living along the coast.
It's like an adventure to go there.
Yeah.
I went by bus, you cross rivers with the bus, and it's like real adventure. Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh, wow.
Well, this Blue Lagoon, so famous, so typical, but so amazing. Like, I think no words are needed because it's like this. Literally, the picture is like, so relaxing, and the perfect plan to do after the volcano, which is the next slide. And well, there are like many natural lakes where you can.
There are hot springs in different parts of it. There's also another new lagoon that people might be starting to hear about called the Sky Lagoon. It's also really beautiful. Both are equally beautiful. Just as an FYI, they have their different amenities that make them amazing. But I think this is just like the special part about Iceland is that there's so much abundant renewable energy here, specifically geothermal energy in many parts of the country. And so people can use that for travelers or individuals who just want to soak their sore muscles or just relax and chat with their friends. And going to the pool or like a hot spring is an Icelandic pastime. So you'll usually find in the local pools, this is where people are hanging out with their families, their friends, older people in the mornings. That's how they start their day. So that's just kind of give you a tidbit. This is not like a touristy thing necessarily. This is actually really a part of the culture.
Yeah. And last one, also no words needed.
Yeah. The volcano. We want to end with that because that is the thing that is attracting so many people now.
Yeah, and it's just breathtaking, and you cannot describe. I think what do you feel when you see the volcano? At least when I see it, it's amazing.
And recently, it started to shoot up like 1,000 feet in the air or something like that. Like it's just insane.
Yeah.
It's crazy what's happening, but it's so exciting.
Yeah.
Yes, so that was wonderful. And I have to tell you, again, I was literally behind here on Google Flights, and I found a flight round trip from Los Angeles for $700.
I have to say that you don't need to go anywhere. You just take the car, you go like 20 minutes out from the city, and it's already so special. So,
Exactly.
Yeah. So again, just another reason for everyone to go ahead and grab their wonderful membership, which is going to come with a year of free Hostelling International membership. And that's a win-win just there. But the icing on the cake is that you get 20% off. So if you did not get that, I'm gonna drop it in the chat just one more time right now. And when this is over, you're gonna go to She's wonderful.com/join. So, ladies, we're about to choose our first adventure here. So I'm really excited. So if you can just tell them how we're going to do this, and then so that we can get on to the next step.
Yeah. So now you just have to decide whatever you want to do. We have 4 options. First of all, talking about literally everything with jewels.
Yeah, any questions that you have about Iceland, I can ramble on, obviously. You probably noticed that.
Yeah. Then we have the option of listening an upcoming Icelandic artist with a magic voice. Like so nice,
beautiful.
you're gonna love it. She's Salome. Then we have the option of talking about vegan food in Iceland with Oli. He owns a restaurant called Mama Reykjavik that it's super close, but maybe it's like
You can see downtown. You can take the
yeah. And
so like here, downtown area.
the Orange House.
And the Rainbow Street is literally
Yes.
right around the corner.
Yeah. And then the last option with me, I'm gonna talk shortly about sustainable tourism in Iceland and explain why are we eco hostels.
So they can vote on what they want to do. Tell
Awesome.
us, what would you like to do out of
ready.
those 4
So if
options?
you guys want to drop in the chat what you guys want to experience first, that would be awesome. And while we're waiting for people to chime in to let us know what experience they want to experience first, I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to give a little testimony of why I love my Wanderful membership, because a lot of people don't really understand. It's not just a community that you log into. It gives you the ability to, I love to solo travel, but I never feel like I'm traveling alone because I have my membership and it is always there with me. So one time I'm hearing food and art coming in. But I was in Europe and I had gotten my wallet stolen. And when I got my wallet stolen, my son was like, "Mom, why don't you," well, we hadn't booked a hotel yet. We hadn't booked a place to stay. We were literally just wandering. And I was a little freaked out because it was me solo with a child. And at the time he was probably about 10 years old and we didn't have anywhere to go that night. I lost my wallet, lost my camera, lost my suitcase, everything, because when I looked down, what do you call them? The gypsies they got my stuff. Needless to say, I had my phone, opened up the app, reached out, found another member, and they gave me a place to stay. The next day, they took me to the embassy and stayed with me the entire time and loaned me the money to go ahead and get some emergency passports so that we can continue on with our travels. And then I just PayPal'd them the money back. So this is the type of sisterhood that you're walking yourself into. And then you're going to combine that with a Hostelling International membership that Aaron shared with you. I'm just saying, hands down, I would be sitting on the side instead of Google Flights. If I wasn't with Wanderful, I'd be getting my membership right now. So I see an overwhelmingly request for food. Right. I think everyone's hungry. Yeah. So that's where we're going to head to.
Let's go.
Yes, you're the most popular.
Beautiful, nice. Mahalo family. Good to see you all. Good to feel you all.
Can you maybe?
Should we just start?
Yeah.
All right, cool. So we are representing a plant-based restaurant in Reykjavik called Mama Reykjavik. It's M-A-M-A. And we are focusing a lot on just healthy, vibrant food without any extra addings like sugar or conservatives or something like that. So we want to provide a super nice experience for locals and travelers to nourish their body. We also have a beautiful space that we are doing meditations, we're doing cacao ceremonies, we're doing yoga and sound healings and all kinds of fun stuff. So it's something where people can come together and connect. Locals and tourists, they can come together and kind of exchange energy. Me, myself, my name is Ole Björn and I am a traveler at heart. So I understand how it is to come to a new city and trying to understand how things work and where to get the best food and And I'm a vegan myself, so it's very important for me that I know that on the location where I'm going, there is some demand of what I demand. So Reykjavik has so many options of vegan food, plant-based food. Not all of it is healthy, but there's definitely vegan options everywhere you go. So if you are thinking about that, that is just, there's nothing you need to even think about. We have a vegan supermarket, we have all kinds of vegan restaurants and options everywhere you go. So you can relax all the plant-based people out in the world. Cool.
Love it, love it.
Yes. And you will feel free to ask any questions at any point. We're gonna make two couple of things that are on the menu at our plant-based restaurant, Mama. So there's one salad we're gonna make for you guys. It's called the rainbow salad. And we believe deeply that we eat with all of our senses. So it's very important to use all the colors while you're eating to get the fullest nourishment. As they say, we are what we eat, and what we eat is what we will vibrate. Yes. And what we vibrate is what we will attract. So we want to have wholesome, healthy food coming from Mother Earth straight up.
Hence Mama.
Hence Mama. and please check us out on Instagram and Facebook. It's MAMA Reykjavik, Mama Reykjavik. And you can check out what we're doing there, events and food and all kinds of good stuff. Yeah. So we try to use as much local things as possible. So we have Icelandic lettuce and we have Icelandic cabbage. We make our own tahini dressing that Natalia is pouring over the salad.
Yeah, it's the most amazing, delicious dressing I have ever tasted in my life.
Yeah.
It's so good.
We're actually working on trying to get these sauces that we have out into the supermarkets. So we want to provide for everybody more and more vegan options. Then we have roasted curry chickpeas. Yeah. Super nice. This is kind of the base of the salad. So this is the protein. This is where you get your healthy fats.
Mm-hmm. That looks so good.
It's so good.
Yeah.
And it smells so good.
It smells good. Yeah. Like we say, we want to bring on more conscious choices to people, so people recognize like where the food is coming from, and it's very important that it's local and it's seasonal. So we're not because we want to be sustainable and we want to be in service for the earth, as this is our only home. So we want to really just nourish that idea. So we like to top things off with fresh fruits from the garden. We got some blueberries, tahini sauce,
pumpkin seeds. Yeah. And you can see why it's called rainbow. So many colors.
And they're right by the rainbow streets.
Yes, exactly.
Inspiration from all around.
Very, very.
You're obsessed.
They actually said, because we're on the bottom of the rainbow street and our house is yellow, so we are like, what's that saying in America? The pot in the end of the rainbow or something?
Yeah.
Golden.
The golden
Yeah.
pot. So you find
No
all.
backgrounds needed. It's just it's the restaurant.
So you find all the gold there.
Yeah.
And we're super open. Our community and our restaurant is based on travelers. So we have been traveling, all of us, around the world. So this is kind of our meeting point, is this urge of seeking new knowledge and expanding ourselves. And we do that through other people. So that's why it's beautiful that we have a place like this in the center of Reykjavik, so people can start connecting deeper and share their gifts. Okay.
Right. So what was that you just put into the blender? Oh my gosh, that looks amazing.
It looks amazing.
So yeah, so we're gonna do another popular dish at our restaurant. It's a banana ice cream. We call it nice cream. It's I think it's a universal word used a lot with plant-based banana ice cream. But what we do is we just put frozen foods, because we really want to promote also raw food, because that is where the highest vibrancy is in the food. When it's not cooked, then you get that vibrancy into the body and feel vibrant. So
Nice. I have a really good question that came in from Sophie. She wants to know what are some typical Iceland ingredients and products that they use or that visitors should try?
nice. Okay. So seaweed is something that you should definitely try. It grows all around the coast, and it is just like packed with nutrients, vitamins, and minerals. It's kind of like a substitute for fish, kind of, because in Iceland we eat a lot of dry fish, and it's kind of similar to that. So if you are missing that experience, we have seafood. We have a lot of root vegetables like beets and turnips. So we work a lot with the roots here in Iceland. Also in the autumn, we have a lot of berries growing everywhere. Adding to that, there's a lot of herbs. We use a lot of teas. There's an abundance of teas and herbs that grow in Iceland. So that's something we use a lot. But unfortunately, we don't have a lot of seasons here, and the weather is kind of extreme. So it's a limited amount of food that grows here.
Sea salt.
Sea salt. Yeah.
Sea salt. Good.
Icelandic sea salt is that big. All right, I hope that answered your question to some degree. Right here, we have some frozen bananas. What we do with the bananas is we wait until they get kind of brown, so they mature, and they change the quality of the starches into sugars, so it becomes more sweet and more creamy. And then I got some frozen cherries. And like I say, this is very popular at Mama, because people like to enjoy like a fresh meal in the summer, especially now when the summer is coming out. We use fresh dates to just sweeten it a little bit. And the fresh dates are better to blend because they're more soft instead of using dry dates. So that's something we're gonna put in. We're gonna put a little bit of oat milk. And then we're just gonna blend off. See what happens. It might explode everywhere. So it's just gonna be fun. Alright. Also, what we like to do is just to show people how easy it is to eat plant-based. Like, it doesn't have to take a lot of time to do things. So we like to make things simple, as we like to overcomplicate things often as human beings. Like to bring it back to simplicity. Yes. Oof. And this is crazy. Like, people don't recognize when they come and get this dish at our place that it is actually just fruits. That's it. They love this, and the children love it. So the whole family can really enjoy this. Yes. Nice.
I literally want to jump through my screen right now and taste that.
Yes.
I think it's no problem. And then we like to top it off with some nice, juicy, fresh fruits. Yeah, so this is like a very carb-based meal, but that's something that the body runs on, so no need to be afraid of carbs, especially when it comes with healthy sugars and fibers, like the fruits do. All right.
Wow.
So this is just something that we like to play with. We play with a lot of flavors. At Mama, we have a peanut butter one. We're gonna have an acai one. And
That's delicious. Looks delicious. Was that coconut that you put on the end?
coconut flakes, yeah.
Yes.
Bring in the colors. Also, what we like to do is like to play with layers. So we like to play with the colors and like how we layer our food. So it's also just a creative expression that we use at Mama to inspire others to connect with the creativity. I think many people are kind of traumatized by cooking, don't have time for it or something like that, but you can make it enjoyable.
Yeah. Well, thank you so much for that. So I don't know about you guys, but I'm super hungry right now.
I really want to try it.
Try it. Yes.
So, all right. So it's now on to our next adventure. Ladies, what are our other options? So everyone could chime in to let us know where we want to go to next.
You can get a performance by
Okay.
an Icelandic artist. You can hear about sustainable tourism with Irena, or you can chat with me. So many options. So let us know in the chat what is
Awesome. Yes. Drop in the chat. What's next, everyone? What would you like to experience next?
Yes.
I feel like I know what's gonna come. It's the singer. No.
Let's eat ice cream while
yeah,
we wait.
we're gonna eat ice cream while you're deciding.
You know what? I think that's our winner because that's what's coming in. Art, performance.
Performance?
Yes, performance is up next.
Yes.
Now, let me see if I can add. I'm gonna add Erin in here one more time. Erin, let's talk a little bit more. Give us I mean, I told you about my fun experience that I had at the Santa Monica, but what are some of the things that people say about Hostelling International and the membership, loving it? Like, what are some of the benefits that really stand out?
Well, I suppose the really great thing about hostels, and we were talking a bit about this earlier, is that you really get to connect with such a wide diversity of people there, which is great. What a lot of people don't know is that Hostelling International is actually a charity. So we're passionate advocates of sustainable travel and intercultural exchange. And our hostels really provide the ideal space for people to kind of engage with our programs as well. So with the high membership, you're not only getting access to some great savings, but also you're contributing to our mission and our global programs, which engage our people and highlight our global goals. Like I mentioned earlier, sustainability, peace, and tolerance. So yeah, that's really the kind of main thing from our side. I suppose one of the best things from my own experience in terms of hostels is just how exciting they are. Like, you go to a hotel and you generally just go up to your room and that's pretty much it. But you go into a hostel and usually the kind of entrance is full of people. There's so much like hustle and bustle going on that it's just so hard not to get caught up in the excitement. It's also such a great way to learn about the area that you're in as well. So yeah, like, I can't say enough, obviously, about hostels.
Yeah.
Very lucky to be working with Hostelling International and really excited to have this collaboration with Wanderful as well, because I think, as you were saying earlier as well, Charisma, a lot of our kind of goals align in terms of, I suppose, engaging our people with travel and supporting them, I suppose, in their travel journeys, which is really, really important.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it is no wonder why we have an amazing partnership together with you guys. So most amazing. So I am going to go ahead and we're going to head on to the next, and I'll see you in a little bit, Erin. I'm gonna bring you back on a little bit later. So stay tuned. All right, so let's do. All right, and we are ready.
Hi, my name is Salve Katri. I am an Icelandic musician. I'm from the West Fjords, and I run a fish restaurant there with my family. But I am a musician. That's my main thing. I'm gonna play for you two of my songs. One of them is on an EP I just released, and you can find me on Spotify. This song is called Don't Take Me So Seriously. It's in English, so you'll understand. And it's about being able to express emotion without it being taken too seriously. I think that's a feminine thing. It's for everyone. Don't take me so Oh, don't you remember I was so tired in my ways of life, in my ways of life. Don't take me so seriously, I'm not being real. Don't take me so seriously, I'm not being real. I'm haunted, but still I won't fall in love. Oh, but I'm haunted by prison problem. Our last encounter, I'm wishing I would never leave, but I've got to go. I've got to grow. Takk fyrir.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Thank you. So this was my song, Don't Take Me So Seriously. Are you up for hearing the second one in Icelandic? Yes.
Yes, absolutely. And the words, I'm trying to look at the chat. Amanda says stunning voice. Concertina says Kate Bush vibe. She is very talented. So I mean, there's a bunch of them coming through, and I just have to read. Lovely, nice, amazing, angelic voice, clapping. So she's super talented. Yeah, I concur. So looking forward to the next one.
And if you have any questions at all, be it about music or Iceland or the music scene here, don't be afraid to ask. I'm sure I'll have help from the people to know your questions. My next and last song is called Gamla Glæðir. It's a song about my hometown, Ísafjörður, which if you get the chance to go there, you must do. Yeah, and it's about falling on your ass in the snow when there's nobody to laugh at you. It's really awkward, but it's sweet. So, Gamla Glæðir. Ég sakna þín oft og oft til að telja þú varst mjúkt. Ég þarf ekki að anda kristinlega, allt blautt ég renn á rassinn fyrir framan samkaup og það enginn til að hlæja. Ekki breytast allt að ég þarf hvern sem stendur í stað þar sem tíminn líður ekki eða bara Það enginn til að hlæja. Takk fyrir!
Oh, so literally the chat box is going crazy. Amazing. How can we follow her? Icelandic. Could you please give us her name again? She's awesome. But there is a really good question that came up from Alex. She wants to know, or wants us to talk about why Iceland has put forth so many famous artists for such a fairly small population.
Really good question. And something I know all Icelandic musicians have wondered themselves how it works. But I think there are a few main things that make it so that artists here are able to develop a really unique sense of style, as well as a good connection to both themselves, the nature, their instrument, and the people. And I think the closeness of the community, because we are so few and we know each other, at least the scene is quite small, so it's easy to know everyone. So I guess it's the DIY-ness of it in so many ways that helps us just harness the raw energy of the music and just the power that is straight from the heart. Because it's complicated to be a musician. And you have to have money and resources and time. But if you take some of that away, you just have a much more direct way to communicate your music, to put it out there. And I think that's one of the reasons. And my grandfather also says, when you're from a small place, you have a lot of power when you enter a bigger place. I don't know why, but this is something he said.
Awesome. Well, again, thank you so very much. That was, again, absolutely beautiful, and just another reason for everyone to go and take a trip to Iceland and to be able to experience all the amazing artists that are there and get to see them live. So go ahead. I had up on the screen her Instagram. Go ahead and follow her. I know some people were asking how to even purchase your music. So go ahead, hit her up on Instagram, and she'll be able to give you all the deets and be able to give you everything there. So as we move on to our next experience, I put up on the screen, people were asking, what's that code? Where's the link? I put it in the chat box, but now it's up on the screen. So for anyone that wants to do a quick screenshot, the code is Iceland, and you can go to sheswonderful.com/join to get your 20% off your annual Wanderful membership. Plus, you're going to get a free year of Hostelling International membership. Again, this is a stiller. You're not going to be able to get this anywhere other than today, and it'll be live for the next 72 hours. So, ladies, it is a grab. Let's see. We're going to what are our last two options here? So it is Talking Sustainable.
Options, meaning
ready for you.
So basically, for me, for people who don't know, so my name is Jules. As Charisma had mentioned earlier, I am a lifestyle blogger and content creator, but I'm also the host of the All Things Iceland podcast and YouTube channel, which is an award-winning content engine, if you will. I'm very proud of it, and I've been living in Iceland since 2016, so almost 5 years, and I've been traveling a lot, learning a lot, sharing a lot. And that's in essence why I started the podcast and YouTube channel, was to give people more insight into the culture, into the nature, the history, just literally all things Iceland. That's why I called it that, because I have such a fascination with this place. For those who are wondering about moving here, because I get that question all the time, my husband is Icelandic, so that's the reason why I ended up moving in the first place. But I also fell in love with the country as well. Yeah. So, and then of course, Irene will be talking about sustainable tourism, which is a huge part of what's happening in Iceland in terms of all of us getting to a point where we're, respecting the nature and utilizing it and keeping it for generations to come. Mm-hmm. So you can choose between you're going to hear from both of us, but it's just which one first is in essence the question. And my hair is doing something crazy. But
They're coming in. We want to hear everything, but they're asking for the sustainable tourism to head up next.
Nice.
Nice.
What do you want to say?
Let's just see here. Yeah. All right. So yeah, I think all of us here today we know about sustainable tourism, and I also think that we are all on this together. But just in a sentence, we understand sustainable tourism as the tourism for good, this kind of tourism that has a positive impact. Here in Iceland, we mainly have nature tourism. So sustainable tourism means to protect the nature, to respect the nature, to have a positive impact on her, even though a positive impact on nature means not having an impact at all. And on the other hand, Iceland has a small population, so tourism has a big impact to the local community. And responsible tourism for us also means respect the local community, supporting local business, small business, and also to be very careful of not putting an unbalanced emphasis on tourist needs over the on the locals. So this is more the theoretical part, of course, but then to support this kind of tourism, it involves being proactive. It involves a practical approach, and this is what I'm going to explain you now shortly. What do we do as eco-hostels in order to practice this kind of sustainable tourism? So first of all, and the most important thing is that we are eco-certified. In one hand, we have the Nordics One Eco-Label certificate. I'm going to explain just a little bit what does it mean in order so you understand easier how do we operate in our daily life in order to be more sustainable. The Nordic Swan Eco-Label certificate is based on a life cycle assessment, which is so important to ensure that we reduce our overall impact on the environment and on the climate. And we have to follow some points in order to have the certificate. First of all, have a reduced water and energy consumption. And every month we read the meters, so we control how much water and energy do we use. Second, we take measures in order to reduce food waste, recycle, and encourage responsible consumption. So we use local products, organic food, and yeah, we encourage responsible tourism. Also, we always offer vegan options in the menu. We use the toilet paper, the kitchen rolls, the photocopy paper, hand soap, all the products we use in our daily life, they are eco-labeled. And we have a strict criteria to use the chemicals. So we have to report all the chemicals we use for cleaning, and they need to be eco-certified as well. And finally, it's very linked with the circular economy. So we don't use single-use products such as cups, cutlery, or we try to reduce as much as possible all these products that they are being thrown away from the system. And we also organize swap markets to exchange clothing, or we buy used furniture for our cafes or our hostels. So in general terms, the Nordics One Eco-Label makes us putting our attention in 4 different segments: raw materials, production, consumption, and waste and recycling. And on the other hand, we have also the HIQNS certificate. So the Hostelling International Quality and Sustainability Certificate shows the commitment of the hostel in promoting the sustainability and respecting the local community at the same time that we, of course, satisfy the guests' needs and expectations. And the high QNS standards are recognized by the Global Sustainable Tourism Council. So we are eco-certified, but even though every month we do eco-auditions, so we can identify how can we improve or how can we be more efficient. And it's a constant challenge of learning and keep improving. And I would also like to mention that we organize a lot of educational activities for our guests and our staff. And we also have an important initiative, which is the tree planting day. And so we calculate every year the carbon emissions that our guest generates in the state in our hostels, and then we plant as many trees as we need in order to compensate these carbon emissions. So in 2019, for example, our team planted 1,040 trees with the Icelandic Forestry Association. But we basically try to lead by example, encouraging our guests to share transport, to travel by bike if possible, public transport, and to discover Iceland in a more respectful and sustainable way, which makes the experience even more amazing. And I don't know if I explain myself, if it's clear how do we operate in order to be sustainable, but don't hesitate in ask me all the questions you want.
Let's see. Sorry, I'm reading the chats at the same. Does the sustainability affect pricing? Just to be clear, I think it's worth it.
Affect pricing? Well, I think here in general the prices of tourism are more or less the same. Yes, I think it's more or less the same, the price of comparing to other options.
Gotcha. And then another one came in. What percentage of hostels are eco certified? If you know the answer.
So I know for sure that the hostels we run in Reykjavik, which are 2 right now, Loft and another hostel a little bit out from the city center, they both are eco-certified for sure.
Gotcha. And then what are some tips this is a question for me, what are some tips that you can give us, those of us that are wanting to travel there, so when we do travel there, that we're taking actions to contribute to the sustainability of Iceland?
Well, first of all, it's always, if you can share a car, if you have a car of 5 people, then it's always better to have it full rather than just having a car for one person, for example. Or also trying to discover the places with the paths that are already made. Don't walk in the wild moss, for example, and do it in using the facilities that they are made for tourists to discover any places. And basically this would be my advice.
Gotcha. Well, I'm going to, as we're getting Jules ready for our last and final segment, I am going to actually bring Erin back in. We're going to talk a little bit more about the membership, what we're really offering you guys here today. And then go ahead and feel free to chime in and ask any questions that you have in regards to the Wanderful and the Hostelling International membership, and we can go ahead and get those answered. I do know that there's one question that came in from Rami, was asking, because they're already a Wanderful member and they wanted to know if they use the same link. So do me a favor, hold on. I am getting an answer from you. I'm behind the scenes trying to get that answer for our current members. But for everyone else, you are going to, and I'm going to drop a banner here so that you guys can see this. Below, you're going to see, to get your 20% off, you're going to go to sheswanderful.com/join and put in the code Iceland to get your 20% off. So Erin, go ahead. I'm going to give another example of why I love the Wanderful membership. And then if you can give an example of why you love the Hostelling International membership, and then we can go ahead into asking any questions that chime in. So I told you guys about my experience when I went to, when I was in Paris. But one of the other things that I love is the fact that there's chapters all over the world, 50 plus chapters. So no matter where I'm going in the world, I can plug in and find a local chapter where they're doing Wonderful Women Wednesdays. And so there's events that happen once a month, but you can also chime in and find someone to go to lunch with, find someone to do an experience with. So it's not just a membership that is online, but it's a live membership in person so that you can find your girlfriends all over the world. So it's one of my absolute favorite things that you can do is plug into the memberships, no matter if you're traveling or if you just want to do some stuff while you're at home. So here in Los Angeles, we have a thriving a local chapter, and we love to do things. We've been to the beach together. We do picnics together. We go and have brunch together. So creating that sisterhood while you're at home, as well as you're traveling around the world. So go ahead, kick it off, Erin.
First of all, that sounds awesome, Charisma. It's so great to have a sense of community like that as well, because it's something that we tend to lack a lot nowadays. So to have that, which She's Wonderful, is fantastic. In terms of the high membership, I'm going to carry on a little bit from what Irina was talking about in terms of sustainability and sustainable hosteling. So by purchasing the high membership, you're also contributing towards our high QNS program, which is basically our certification for our sustainable hostels, I suppose. Currently, we have about 500 hostels worldwide that have a high QNS certification, and that's constantly going up. So with the high membership as well, just because I don't think I've mentioned it already, you can purchase that by going to our website, www.highhostels.com. But obviously with our promo today, which She's Wonderful as well, you get the free year with the 20% off Wonderful membership, which is pretty good bargain.
Pretty awesome. So we had someone send a question in asking, does this apply to the monthly membership? So I just wanted to make sure this is up on the screen one more time. The code Iceland, you'll get 20% off of both of the memberships. However, if you want to take advantage of getting the Hostelling International membership, you are going to need to purchase the annual membership. So, and the annual membership is what's going to be required for you to get that 1 year free membership of Hostelling International. So we do have a question. Reward My Shopping asked, how has the hostel modified things for the pandemic to make it safer, especially with shared rooms?
So it's going to be different in every country because every country has unique regulations in place to deal with the pandemic. But all of our hostels are being as cautious as possible. A lot of the hostels don't have shared rooms at the moment, don't have the bunk beds, but instead they'll have separate rooms. So you can go with your friends and stay in a dorm, I suppose, with just you and your friends. You can also rent out whole hostels now, which is really, really cool. And there's loads of people doing it. That's what I really want to do myself, actually, my plan for the summer. So it's different wherever you go. My recommendation would be to always get in touch if you're worried at all, and we'll be happy to help you find the details for the exact location that you're looking for.
Awesome. And then I know earlier in the chat, and I didn't get around to this question because I was going to want to bring it up at some point, but are they still wearing masks there in Iceland?
Oh, I have no idea if they are in Iceland. I'm actually in Ireland at the moment.
Oh, okay. So I'm going to bring this question up once again. So we'll hold tight with that one. So looks like our ladies are ready. They're behind the screen. It looks, so we're going to move over to our next. And let's bring, look at her. She got the shades on. She's ready to go. All right. So let me go ahead and give you the full stage.
Awesome. Thank you.
There you go.
Hi, everybody, again. And as I mentioned, my name is Jules from All Things Iceland. And you can feel free to ask questions throughout when I'm talking. I'm kind of just going to throw information at you that I think would be really helpful. And I think, of course, with the journey, as we're all talking about like coming to Iceland, one of the biggest things is preparation. And so I talk about like literally everything on the podcast and YouTube channel because I feel like there's so many interesting topics to me. But the one thing I wish I had known before coming to visit for the first time was just what to pack, what to wear, what to expect, because it is a different country. The name itself can be a little bit intimidating because you're just like, it's going to be cold, it's going to be, icy everywhere. And for the most part, that's not true. I mean, Iceland is covered by ice, but 11% of the country is covered with glaciers. But in terms of packing, layers here is so important. So just for instance, summer. I'm from New York City, by the way. So born and raised in Brooklyn. And summer in New York City is hot. It is, can get upwards of 100 degrees. That is not unusual in the dog days of summer. Whereas in Iceland, if you get to 60 degrees, that is a heat wave, and people are so excited. And they're like, it's like Venice Beach. People are taking their shirts off, jogging down the street. But for people who are not used to that, having layers on is really helpful. So having a base layer that goes underneath your clothing. And what I'm wearing right now is a traditional Icelandic sweater. It's called a lopapeysa. And this sweater is wool, and it is so warm. And the design itself, of course, is really beautiful in my opinion. And this is one of the things that is like Icelandic uniform, if Icelanders had one. And so I always recommend having the second layer, which goes on top of that base layer, which is something that that will be basically like keeping in the insulation for you. And then the top layer is then your like rain protector. Of course, it could be a coat if it's wintertime or whatever else. But layers will be the thing that helps you the most because you can take them off. It's usually not going to be the case that it's so hot here that you can't get off enough clothing. It will be like, okay, well, it feels warm in the sun, which right now it's 8 degrees Celsius, which is somewhere around like in the 40s, I think. And I feel very warm, but I'm also wearing my lopapeysa and a shirt underneath. So just packing wise, those are really important. And then of course for winter, it will be, some other things like wearing micro spikes on your shoes in certain areas and things of that nature, because it is a place where there is ice and snow and weather conditions, wind. There's an intense amount of wind. And I think I see a question. 60s is a heat wave. That's cold from Florida. Exactly. That's what I mean. So coming from Florida, for instance, you'll probably bundle up a lot more than everybody else, but that's okay. It's just knowing before you get here. And then of course, bring your bathing suit, because there's so many geothermal hot springs that you can, get to enjoy, as well as the different lagoons that we talked about, like the Blue Lagoon, the Sky Lagoon, whatever else. And just, I feel like this is one of the things that will mentally prepare you, is just knowing what to expect. And then when you get here, there's so much to do, and it's so easy to pack in a ton of things, and it's the best climate. Yeah, I think so now. When I first got here, it was a little bit hard to adjust for sure. And when you get here though, timing wise, so in the summertime, there's 24-hour daylight. It's amazing, but it's also terrible for people who are not used to it, because you might not be able to sleep with so much light coming through your window. So having a face mask with you, and a lot of places they have blackout windows, but just knowing that this is the case for me was great, because first of all, you feel like you never want to go to sleep. Everything is available to you. You can go out and drive at any time of the night and you have daylight. In the wintertime, it then turns in the other direction, where the shortest day of the year is 4 hours. And that is on December 21st, which can be hard. So if you're planning to come during that time, which is, you can possibly see the Northern Lights, timing wise, knowing that getting to a certain location, like the Golden Circle, going around there, you have less time in the day to be able to see these attractions before the sun goes down or before it comes up. So they're just like these little tidbits that I think are so helpful. And also that just keep in mind as you're planning, because it's best to come all year, anytime, honestly. I think it's even great if you come one season and then decide to come back for another season. And traveling around the country, Iceland comes across as a small place, but to be honest, it can take many, many hours driving to get somewhere. It says, how wheelchair accessible is Reykjavik? Would a wheelchair user be able to use public transportation? Yes. So I rode the bus for the first 2 years of living in Iceland, and they definitely have people who are using wheelchairs using the buses. The bus drivers are really helpful with that, as well as like a certain section of the bus. It's kind of similar to different locations in the United States or wherever it is that you're from, where they just have specific seating on the buses. And a lot of Reykjavik in the downtown area is more flat, so that makes it nice. Now, when you're going out of the city, it does become a little bit harder, but they have built up a lot of infrastructure in certain places. So if you go to the South Coast, for instance, like Skogafoss or Seljalandsfoss, if you have tires that can handle a little bit more of like gravel or something like that, you'll be fine. You can still, get yourself to these locations, or if someone else is assisting you, that shouldn't be an issue. I was so surprised when I went to the West Fjords, for instance, and there's a waterfall that's beautiful there called Dynjandi, and they had built up a path that basically you could almost like get majority of the way up to Dynjandi, which that was not like that in the past. So much in Iceland is changing in order to be more accessible to people, so for sure. And yeah, keep the questions coming. And I'll just keep talking, of course, in between. So when I visited Iceland, it was January, and I couldn't believe that the sun came up at nearly 11 a.m. Yes, exactly. And I was so confused, wondering if my clocks didn't change over. Exactly. And imagine going to work like that. So here, I remember just getting up in the morning. It's pitch black when you get up. It's pitch black as you're commuting to work. And then all of a sudden it's like 10 o'clock, 10:30, and then the sun's coming up. And you're like, oh, that's nice. And then later you realize, okay, it's 3:30 and the sun's going down and you're still at work, right? So you've missed all of the sunlight for that day because you had to be in the office or whatever else. So that can be an interesting challenge to get used to. And I know that many people have, the different ways of coping. I've talked about how I've coped with it. It was not an easy transition coming from a place where you do have more consistently longer days, even though a lot of us feel like, when we have our shorter days, it's hard. But I no longer look at New York in terms of winter and short days and think, oh, wow, that's not enough. I'm like, wow, let me just go to New York, actually, and maybe get the sun at 7 o'clock in the morning. That would be amazing. I'd love to be able to see it then. So it's just funny what you get used to, and now it's not a problem for me at all. It's actually not even a problem for me to sleep with the shade open in the summertime. So is it easy to purchase riding boots? I heard it's important since the Icelandic. Okay, so riding boots. I'm assuming for horses, or you can certainly purchase riding boots here, but the thing that I would probably suggest, because a lot of things are expensive, is that maybe not getting them here, just because the price might be a lot more than where you're from. A lot of people end up buying things abroad that are on the more expensive side just because there's so much tax in Iceland. The VAT is 24%, so just as an FYI, there's certain things you can't avoid buying, like food and whatever else, but higher ticket items that aren't specialized in Iceland, like for instance, the lower peso is worth it to buy, and also you then get your tax back when you leave, so which is really nice. So is it easy to get horseback riding gear? Oh, okay, yeah, I see. I understand that things are regulated since Icelandic horses are an isolated population. Yeah, if you're going to go on a tour, they'll give you the gear that you need for sure. That's not a problem. And when it comes to the regulations regarding horses, they don't. So if an Icelandic horse ever gets exported, it can never come back to the country. It is forever gone, unfortunately. That's the rule, but it's also to keep the horses that are here safe from disease. Have been bred in isolation for over 1,000 years, so have the Icelandic sheep. So many of the animals that we showed you, except for the Arctic fox, were and the whales, of course, were brought over, and they have been living in isolation, and they're protected this way. So, and on the flip side, there's also, of course, not foreign horses or animals that are brought in, besides pets who have to go into quarantine. So there's a whole process if you want to bring over a dog or a cat to live in Iceland. Just to visit, it wouldn't be worth it unless you're going to, you're visiting for quite a long time. Otherwise, it just makes it way too much work. So yeah, horseback riding, that's definitely a very popular activity here. There are so many that are, regarding animals. There's not as many, I guess, riding things, but like whale watching, sheep in the summertime. So this is probably my favorite thing, is that, and also the scariest, is if you're driving in Iceland during the summer, the sheep own the road, okay? They are everywhere. And it's because they get to graze all summer. I say that they get the ultimate summer vacation every year, because the sheep farmers, they just let them out and they go and naturally just graze and, have their lambs with them, which are growing. And that also means that on the roads, they're just crossing the road and they have the right of way. So you have to stop for them. And of course, if there were an unfortunate incident, which has happened, where you hit a sheep, you just have to call 112 and they will then notify the farmer and stuff like that. But in best case scenario is usually that you just stop for the sheep, they cross, or you're just very cautious when you're driving by them, because it's very possible that a lamb or sheep will just change its mind at any point and go like, you know what, I'm going to cross now. And so that happens quite a lot. And I love that Salome is from the West Fjords. It's one of my favorite parts of Iceland because it's so beautiful. So would you recommend renting a car, taking a tour to see more of the country? I would think it's more sustainable to join a small group tour instead of everyone driving their own vehicle. Any tips? Yeah, absolutely. Yes, if you could group it, that would be great. And also, I think in the future, they're really trying to work on having more cars available that are electric. And so let's just say you have your family coming and it's easier for you to do, or well, okay, depending on how you're traveling, but let's just say you have a group of your friends, whatever, and you all want to have a car together. If you can opt for an electric car, which they have put stations around the country, that would be great. Or you can maybe go through Hostelling International and find out some of the tour options that they have available that do reduce using, you know, fossil fuels, that reduce any type of waste, or just is better for the economy. So there are lots of potential options, and I'm sure with your membership you'll get access to all of that. Ooh, best tips to see the Aurora Borealis. Yeah. Okay. Manage your expectations. That is the number one tip, because it's not guaranteed that you will see them. But if you're checking out, so I just go to vedur.is, so vedur.is. If you actually Google Northern Lights Iceland forecast, I think vedur.is is the first one that comes up, and they have a range there. So it's from, I think, 1 to 10 or something like that, or 5. I can't remember.
1 to 5.
Yeah, 1 to 5. Okay. And I'm just trying to remember the number. And if it's like a 3, then the chances, and if it's not too cloudy, then there's a good chance you might see them. So 2, it tells you like low, medium, or high. If it's a 5, definitely go out there and just take a chance and drive. But you need to be in a place where there's not a lot of light pollution. And I say that with a caveat that I have to say too, because I have seen the Northern Lights a decent amount of times in Reykjavik, like standing in downtown Reykjavik by Hallgrímskirkja Church, and I was like, wait, what? Like, this is insane. It was really strong, but it was just one of those nights that we were having like an insane influx of Northern Lights. Yeah, lots of activity. And this is dependent, of course, upon like solar rays, and it's unfortunately there's not a lot that anyone can do besides just keep watch. And if you want to take pictures of it, there are apps that you can do that with, or if you have your own camera, there are manual settings that you would need to use in order to see the Northern Lights, because there are times where you can't physically see them that well, but your camera can pick it up way better. So tip wise would be, 1, manage your expectations, because it's a possibility, even though you're here and it's nighttime, that you still might not be able to see it. If it's too cloudy, that would make it difficult. And of course, if it's raining or snowing or something like that, that's also part of it that might make it hard visibility wise. The moon is out, that might make it a little bit harder. And then going outside of the city just to get a better view of them, potentially, because of light pollution can dull the strength of the lights. So what's your favorite local food and drink? Clearly, I'm still hungry after saying that rainbow salad. Yeah, exactly. Me too. And so my favorite local food, that's a hard one because I have a lot of them. I am also plant-based, but I do know that a lot of people are, a different variety of lifestyles. But one of the traditional Icelandic foods that I like, that I've gotten in a plant-based style, is called rugbrauð. And specifically, I've gotten this at a bakery in Borgarnes. And I love it because it's a sweet bread that used to be baked in the ground in Iceland using the geothermal energy. And there are different varieties of it, so you can get it in stores, in local grocery stores here in Iceland. And Icelanders usually put butter on it, so I put like vegan butter, and it's so good. And Iceland in general, there's a lot of variety here when it comes to food. That's the one surprising thing, is that like there's pizza and burgers and things that you would typically see maybe where you're from. Maybe not the same name of the location of the place. Like there's no McDonald's in Iceland, for instance, and that's a whole other story as to why. But still, there are these types of foods, and then you have the traditional Icelandic foods like fish and lamb, and the fermented shark that people try. That is really gross. I'm sorry. Like I had it many, many years ago before I was plant-based, and to each their own. But all I can suggest to you is, if you decide to try it, make sure you have a shot of brennivin, which is Icelandic schnapps, with you to wash away the ammonia taste. So there are lots of potentials.
Oh my gosh, that sounds so good. And Myra agrees with me because she says, oh my goodness, sounds so delicious. So there are still questions that are chiming in. Unfortunately, we are just about out of time here. And so this was one, thank you to all of you for all of everything that you guys did today. Like, I literally can't wait to book my ticket to come out there and see you guys. And I'm going to share it with everyone that, hey, I'm coming out there to visit you guys. So with that said, I wanted to again thank you, and I'm going to bring Erin back on just one last time so we can get any questions that anyone has in regards to the memberships answered. And for those of you that still have questions pouring in, feel free to join us inside the community. Get your questions answered in there. Pop them in the community, because the whole community, we support one another, and inside of the membership we will get all of these questions answered for you, either myself, anyone on the team, some of the other members, some of the ladies you saw here today. So I can't wait to see you guys all on the inside. So thank you so much. Go enjoy that weather, because I can tell you 60 degrees here in Los Angeles. I'm bundled up.
Yeah, exactly.
The clothes and the bikini's not coming out till we get like 80 degrees. So it's a little bit different.
Yeah, you can wear your bikini in the spa.
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
So again, thank you so very much. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
All right, Erin. So we are going to wrap it up together, and just like we did before, drop another a benefit or something that you love about the Hostel International, or something that you just want to make sure that everyone that is purchasing these memberships should know prior to grabbing it.
I suppose, as you were saying yourself in the last segment, we really are like a global community of travelers, and supporting a global community of travelers to make sustainable and better travel choices. So for me, that's the big benefits of supporting the High membership through purchase, and also following us on our social media platforms as well. We have top travel tips going up constantly. We're always promoting hostels around the world as well. So yeah, like it's that kind of community spirit that I love about hosteling.
So I love it. Two amazing communities joining forces to give you guys such a win-win opportunity. There's a bunch of benefits to both of these memberships, but one more that I'm going to share with you guys that I absolutely love, and I didn't realize how much I loved it until the pandemic came, was all of the events that happen inside the community. There's so much information, so many amazing events, and I constantly tell Beth, who is the founder of Wanderful, this all the time. As much value as you get out of the membership, it should cost 3 times as much. 4 times as much, because that's how much value that comes out of having this membership, just getting access to all of the live events and the recorded events that are inside of the library inside. And it's not just for travel information and events. This is for those that are looking to learn how to make extra money, rather if you're saving or budgeting, investing. On the other side is learning how to create an online travel business or do something in that space so that you can create an income, because it is the community that helped me go from having a traditional job to being able to work remotely, so that I can go to Iceland and still plug in and actually work and make an income from anywhere inside of the world. So it's a win-win situation. So again, everyone, go ahead and grab the sheswonderful.com/join. The code to get the 20% discount is Iceland, and it's going to come with both memberships. You can either get the travel membership, the annual one, or the creator membership, which also includes the travel membership, but it must be the annual membership, and you'll get 20% off of either one of those, and either one of those will include the annual membership to Hostelling International. So yes. Susan mentioned, so we're talking about events. So these are the types of events that are in there. Virtual mixology. There's packing events. There is events like this where we're taking you on virtual tours. There's yoga inside. There's something literally going on every single day that you can plug into. And if you can't catch it live, the recordings are in there for you to be able to participate, no matter where you are inside the world. So there we go. This is Cecile from Hostelling International. #community. Our hostels can't wait to welcome travelers again. We've missed you. So everyone, go ahead, feel free to grab your memberships now. It'll be live for 72 hours. And I'm going to share with you encourage you to spread the love, because I strongly believe that sharing is caring. So if you have girlfriends that love to travel, moms that love to travel, sisters, cousins, anyone that you know that travel, go ahead and take that link and that Iceland discount and spread the love and share it with 10 people. Go and share it across the world so that we can all come and travel together. The doors are opening up country by country. And when they do, we look forward to seeing you inside of the Wanderful membership, traveling the world with us, and also visiting Hostelling International. And feel free to make sure to hashtag community, but also hashtag She's Wanderful when you're there. All right. Thank you. Thank you so much, Erin. And thank you, everyone, for attending. And I look forward to seeing you all on the beaches of the world.
Thank you so much, Charisma.
You're welcome. Ciao.